So in today's video, I'll be answering the question, is Dead by Daylight worth playing in 2025? So Dead by Daylight has actually just recently hit its 9-year anniversary, so it's going on for 10 years next June, I think. So it's been around for 9 years, so surely it has to be good if people are still playing it. I actually started playing it it's not even, maybe 3 weeks ago. I've got like 80 hours on it now, so I'm enjoying it. I play mostly Survivor. I played a bit of Killer, but I am yet to like really dive into it. I looked on Steam and it has mostly positive on all reviews, which I think is like 500,000 on Steam. And then it might be overwhelmingly positive for recent reviews, which is like 10k. So I mean, it's very well received. What is Dead by Daylight? Essentially, it's a 4v1 horror game where you have 4 survivors and 1 killer in a map, essentially, and the survivors basically have to work together to escape without being obviously killed by the killer. They escape by repairing generators to power one of 2 doors that are on a map. And once you've completed the generator, you have to hold down the door lever for a certain amount of time before it opens and you're allowed to go. There is another way to escape, which is the hatch, but I do believe that opens when there's only 1 survivor left. A hatch opens, and you can, if you're the last survivor, you can either go through the hatch or go through the 2 doors, essentially. So Dead by Daylight is still popular, basically because it consistently updates with new things, and it's got a very enjoyable basically gameplay loop. There's also a lot of popular horror licenses like Stranger Things, Silent Hill, multiple Resident Evil updates, and then Alien and stuff like that, which people do enjoy, and it definitely pulls a good amount of the players in. What I personally think is good about the game is that there's never one match that is the same. You could say when you get into maybe a good amount of the game, killers start playing the same, but not one match is ever like the same in terms of gameplay. There's, I guess, there's suspense if you are the survivor, and like, I guess, adrenaline like moments. Playing against there's a lot of different killers that are vary between them, different abilities, different ways they're able to. Some have movement abilities, some don't. Some are like ranged. I mean, I don't know if you'd call it a gun. It's like it's a harpoon, so it's essentially a gun, and then you have like Freddy Fazbear, who's been added recently with the little hatchet or axe he carries around. I like the skill checks that you have to do with the generators. Teamwork, I mean, depends on whether you're solo queuing or you're spending time with somebody else on the game. You have to stealth throughout the game. If stealth is something you like within a game, you'll enjoy it in this, as it'll help you basically evade the killer. There's a lot of content on YouTube actually, since I wouldn't say it's a complicated game, but like with updates that come out, there's videos on new killers, new survivors, new maps, basically builds to run on different survivors and different killers. There's also content because it's on different consoles, it's even on mobile, and obviously it's on PC too. There's crossplay between those, which makes it easier to matchmake. but matchmaking isn't always the best. People complain about unfair games where you load into a game and maybe it's harder than you think. Maybe you're a new player and you get to the end of the game, you look at the lobby and it's 3 prestige 100 survivors against you, who is a prestige 1 killer, which is just not fair. I personally think is there are ranks in the game, but they don't really mean anything, since that is the only. If you want to play a game of Dead by Daylight and it's just a normal game, you can only play the game mode where there is ranked, and I feel like it's very easy. As the first, I guess you could say, season I played, I reached iridescent on Survivor, not Killer, because I don't really play Killer, but Survivor. And I feel like it was quite easy. So the MMR means nothing. You're going to get people who've been playing for the last 9 years, or you're going to get people that are new against you, and you will just do very good against them. I feel like the game is very hard to balance, especially since how many perks there are in the game, and I guess certain killers are better than others. I've heard a lot about Nurse being good since who knows when, and she's still one of the best killers. Nurse is somebody I struggled to play against. I don't know, her blink is quite powerful, and people are like, oh, you can predict it and then try and evade it that way. I mean, it doesn't matter. That you only get to that point with a lot of playtime, which I don't have, so I guess I'm just gonna have to keep working on it. And then I guess another bad thing would be the toxicity, but I mean, this is what happens in every multiplayer game, so it shouldn't be expected, but it is to be expected. You get reported for. It's the same in League, where people report you for inting, but it's not. Sometimes it's not even inting. You can't report somebody for playing bad, but that's what people do in Dead by Daylight, essentially. Especially in quote unquote higher ranks, where if you do one thing wrong, you're gonna get reported. You have to play perfectly or up to their standards, or it's just not good enough. People don't like how much deluxe content there is in the game, stuff like cosmetics and stuff that you just have to pay for. You get a certain amount of survivors if you want to unlock more. There's obviously a way of getting survivors and killers for free, but it takes a very long time, and it's much easier to just buy it. But some people don't want to pay, but they don't also want to play like 100 hours to get like 3 characters that they want. Because surely at the point of like 100 hours, you just get burnt out because you've been playing with a character that you don't like. And I feel like the game is kind of difficult for newer players, just like League again, because it's not really similar to many other games. The only games that it is similar to are games that have tried to copy it, like Identity V, which is a mobile game, essentially Dead by Daylight, but with different characters and stuff like that. I haven't looked too much into it, but from what I've heard, that's what it is. So let's say you wanted to start playing the game in 2025. There's actually a good amount of new updates. So we've got Five Nights at Freddy's. You use as Freddy Fazbear as a killer. There's also Tokyo Ghoul, so you can play as Ken Kaneki. And there's a Walking Dead update coming out at the end of August, which comes with 2 survivors, Rick and Michonne, and it comes with a map too, which is I think is the prison from season 2. The map looked a bit lackluster, but I don't really care. Like, new map, it is what it is. There's also balancing going on, patches, stuff like that. in case, because a lot of people were complaining about Ken Kaneki, and you can't really ignore that when a lot of the player base, especially the casual player base, are complaining about it. People, the devs are speaking and taking the feedback that people take, and I feel like the game it's beginning. I don't really know if it's beginning to get easier, but it's not as hard anymore, because there's this, if you want to learn the game, there's so many ways you can find other people to play with, and also game's been out for 9 years, so there's no chance you're not finding a guide for a killer you want to play or something like that. I mean, I feel like the game's rewarding if you're coming as a new player, but it does have a learning curve, so you do have to expect that. If you're a horror fan, I think you kind of have to play the game, especially if you're a horror fan and you don't play many games. I think it's definitely one to play, considering the licenses that are in the game. I also feel like the game is very competitive. It's unbelievably recently started. I guess you could say an esports. However, if you want to play it competitively, it can be difficult at times because of how high the skill ceiling is for the game, and for how long other players have been playing the game, essentially. So you are going to have to put a lot of time into it if you want to become one of the best. If you just want to play the game casually, I feel like it's gonna feel like a grind, definitely, and confusing without other people to play with. Eventually you'll get it if you just play regularly, like every now and then. Eventually you'll get it, but it's definitely it'll definitely feel like a grind at the start. Visually, I feel like the game looks fine. I don't really care about graphics these days. Like, the graphics can look good, but if the game's not good, then I don't really care. There's obviously stuff like fog, but that's supposed to be in the game, so you could make the argument like, oh, I can't see, and the killer catches me faster because the fog, there's too much fog, essentially. But there are perks that increase that, decrease that stuff. It's supposed to be there. You're not so. It's not so. It's like a horror game. So what are you expecting to see everything? You load into Silent Hill and you're like, okay, what? Why can't I see much ahead of me? Like, what? I see it as a pointless argument. I don't think you can complain about that. I mean, I play the game regularly as one of the online games, apart from League, that I'm playing right now. I play this League, and then I've started playing a new game, Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, and I'm trying to 100% Resident Evil 2 right now. But I feel like right now I don't mind regularly coming back. Every day it can be. It's like every other day I'll hop on, and I don't mind. I run a few matches of Survivor, and I've started to play Killer 2. But I'm a fan of horror games, and I like it. I feel like it's a game that can become a multiplayer game that you can play regularly. But essentially, if you like horror, and I guess high stakes gameplay, then I feel like it's a very unique game, and it's quite the experience, and I feel like you should just give it a try, especially now, since there's still a lot of content coming out. But yeah, I hope this solved any problems of you deciding if you wanted to play Dead by Daylight. So